So I bow, dear devotees. It is an immense fortune for me to be here with all of you today. So today we would like to glorify a little bit of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. But first, we'll offer our obeisances. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyanam Jara Sharakaya Chakshurun Miritam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Jainam Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dharati Svapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanshakalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Shatarine. So before we start on the glorification, I would like to conclude on a principle that we shared last time, but I did not feel satisfied. I didn't feel last time I was speaking about exclusivity that I really concluded well about it. I just wanted to finish on that or start with this, I would say. So we were speaking about how Krishna wants us to be exclusive, and this is something that is very important to understand in our life. It can even take many lifetimes actually to understand this point. Okay, first I'd like to ask you, why does Krishna is exclusive, first of all? Why is Krishna exclusive? Is Krishna? Why is he exclusive?
Can you explain what you mean by he's exclusive?
Okay. So Krishna, when I say Krishna is exclusive, is that he is exclusive towards Srimati Radharani. But because Radharani, she loves all living beings and she is compassion personified, and Krishna loves all living beings. But we can say that Krishna is exclusive to Srimati Radharani, is also exclusive to his devotees. As long as we don't reciprocate with love towards Krishna, then who reciprocates with us? Is it Krishna and Vrindavan? No, it's the Super Soul. So the Super Soul reciprocates with us. And up until we really desire to love Krishna, then it is the Super Soul, and Krishna is not, he's impartial as the Super Soul. But how does he become exclusive towards us? Is that when we become exclusive towards him. Yatamam prapadyante tam sataiva pachamiyam. Mama vatmanu vatante manushya partha sarvashaha. So Krishna reciprocates with us according to the way we reciprocate with him. So he will become exclusive towards us when we become exclusive towards him. That's how Krishna works. But why is exclusivity important? It's because Krishna, he gives himself to you. That's how Krishna works in this world. He gives himself to you in proportion to how much you give yourself to him. And if Krishna is not the exclusivity of your heart, then how can you reciprocate with that? This is something as living as a soul that we have to realize. Actually, I was thinking about that as we were chanting the name of Srimati Radharani. Actually, the purpose of this world is that. The purpose of this world is to become exclusive towards Radha and Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. Why? Because the soul is meant to love Radha and Krishna. That's the true nature of the soul. Because of our factual reality is our relationship with Radha and Krishna. So why is that exclusivity important? Is that Krishna, he wants 100%. That's it. Why does he want 100%? Because in Braj, we are controlled by love. And we're completely conquered by the love of Radha, Krishna, and the Brajbasis. That's why we only want to give ourselves fully to Krishna. Because we are in contact with something that is unlimited. That is why the devotees in Vrindavan, they can stay with Radha and Krishna for eternity because they're in contact with something that is just infinite. And the experience of love that is there is so profound, so deep, that everyone is ready to give oneself fully for eternity towards Radha and Krishna. So exclusivity is a very important point to understand because we can see if we want to have a deeper relationship or experience of Krishna, we have to become more exclusive towards him. Krishna wants 100% of our heart. Why? Because our factual reality is a relationship with Radha and Krishna. It is only natural for us to be in that relationship. So that's why that exclusivity is needed, because if we want Krishna to reciprocate fully in our life, we have to reciprocate fully with Krishna. And we have to give our heart to Krishna. Krishna is possessive. In Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami explains in the Nectar of Devotion, there is mamata. What is mamata?
Possessiveness.
Possessiveness. Yes. And what does that mean?
He's mine.
Krishna is mine, and you are mine, and I am yours. Yes, possessiveness. This is the feeling of the Brajbasis, even Krishna, Sadhavo Hridayam Tomam. Krishna says that in this form of Narayan when he speaks to, is it Durvasa Muni? Yeah, I think it's yes. That I am in the heart of my devotee and the devotee is in my heart. And the Bhagavad Gita says the yogi is the one who is united with me. In the chapter 6, verse 47. So we need to use our heart towards Krishna. It's something that is really important. If we want to have a deep, loving relationship with Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, we have to give ourselves completely. That is the reason why Krishna, he makes us lose things in this world. Why? Because we're not exclusive towards him. We're exclusive toward people of this world. We're exclusive towards our job, our car, our house, and this and that. Even we can be exclusive towards our service more than loving Radha and Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. That is another point. So, yes, we really need to meditate on that exclusivity. And if we feel in our life, if we don't feel the presence of Radha and Krishna in our life, then that means that something is lacking in our heart. That there's not enough exclusivity in our heart. This is something that is of the utmost importance. And like I was saying, it can take many lifetimes for a devotee to cultivate and accept that fully in one's heart. So that's why, that is, like I was saying, that's the reason why Krishna makes us lose so many things. Because when we lose everything, what do we have left?
Devotees.
Devotees and Krishna. We have the shelter of the devotees and Krishna. So that's why there's, even in this world, like I was saying, the purpose of this world is to become exclusive towards Radha and Krishna. And actually, our experience as human beings, or just being in this world of taking birth and losing everything at the end of our life, and then starting over again, this is meant to develop exclusivity towards Radha and Krishna also. Everything we experience in this world is meant for that. Because the soul is meant to love Radha and Krishna. That is the Jaiva Dharma, that is the essential function of the self, is to love. And the nature of that love is service. So that's actually everything we're going through. And until we accept this thing in our heart, then we will keep losing life after life after life after life after we realize that actually our real shelter is who? Radha and Krishna. Yes. Until that point, then we think our shelter is this and that, or we put our security in people of this world. But what can someone else truly do for us as a spirit souls? I mean, for our body and our mind, then others can do things. But what can they do for our soul? That's true. What can anybody else do towards our soul if you understand that the nature of the soul is to love Radha and Krishna? So that's why, yes, it is not a problem, but to accept that actually our true shelter is Radha and Krishna. And it's such a good thing. You know, we have so much weight on our shoulders, or so much insecurity, so much frustration, and so much suffering because of that, because we cannot accept in our life that our true shelter is Srila Prabhupada and Radha and Krishna. That's true. So that's why it's so much important to turn our heart towards Srila Prabhupada, Radha and Krishna. We need that exclusivity. And we understand that exclusivity. We're exclusive towards others. In this world, we're exclusive towards our family members, towards husband and wife, towards our children. We're so much exclusive. And that's good, because we have relationships with these different people and devotees. But that feeling of exclusivity that we're experiencing so much in this life must be connected to Radha and Krishna. It's really important because they are the source of everything. Radharani is the source of love. Krishna is the source of relationships. So how can we put them aside? They are our true shelter. And just like Gurudev, I think it was in Colombia when we were there, Maharaj was giving a class, and he was explaining how actually, because a mother was asking her questions, how she could serve Krishna while taking care of her son. And Maharaj, he gave a very nice answer. He was saying that actually, yes, when we serve our family members, we have to serve them in connection to Krishna. It's really important because Krishna is the source of our relationships, just like he was saying. How can a mother experience love for her son? What is that motherly affection? Where is that coming from? How is she able to give herself completely to her child? How can a child be so cute at the same time naughty? And where is that coming from? I mean, we have to understand. There's a source to everything. So he was saying and the important point here is that when we serve Krishna through our relationships, when we love Krishna through our relationships, then the love that we give, he was saying the love that a mother gives to her son is so much deeper because she loves Krishna as she loves her son. And she loves Krishna through her son. It's not disconnected. And the love that the son experiences is so much deeper. And what happens with that love? When he receives that love, then because he will feel in his heart that that love is coming from Radha and Krishna, then he will want to love Radha and Krishna also. That's the most beautiful gift we can give to others, living entities, is to love Krishna through them, to serve Krishna through them. Because the love they will experience from that will be something that they will never be able to experience in this world. And that love will make them want to go towards the source of love. And that will create a feeling of exclusivity in the heart. Just as the mother, when she loves Krishna through her child and serves Krishna through her child, is exclusive towards Krishna, that exclusivity will be transferred in the heart of the child. And the child will see the value of being exclusive towards Radha and Krishna. But being exclusive doesn't mean that we're neglecting our family members, not at all. But it's just that we connect that completely to Radha and Krishna, to their service, to the service of Srila Prabhupada. Because by doing that, then true love is there. True relationship can be there, actually. So we receive and give so much more when we love and serve Krishna through everything. This is the secret. This is the key to our success in devotional service. Because the goal of life is prema, is to love. So, yes, so that exclusivity, it brings, it is at the same time it exclusive, but at the same time it is inclusive, because when we bring people into that love, then they will feel also that love of Radha and Krishna. And so exclusivity brings inclusivity, understand? It's quite interesting. So it's perfect. But if we try, that's true, if we try to love just on our own others and try to be loved on our own, or on their own, then how much love can we give? How much love can we receive? We're minute spirit souls. I mean, and we feel contented with that because we just don't understand what is true love. And we don't turn ourselves toward that true love. We're not sensitive to that true love. And because of that, we take the love of this world to be the ultimate thing, the one and only, the best, the most important. And we suffer from that, and we are so much frustrated. That is a reality. But because we don't taste any other love, then we become so much attached to it, and we put all of our heart into it, unfortunately. But this is a great misfortune for us, because we could just do the same. I didn't speak about stopping relationships, but I spoke about how we can love and serve Radha and Krishna through everything. This is yoga. This is bhakti yoga. And yoga means connection. So if we connect our relationships, if we connect our feelings to Radha and Krishna, then through these relationships we will feel for Krishna. And we'll make others feel for Krishna also. This is the best gift we can ever give to our family members. So that's why we have to meditate on that. It's not that we lack anything. We don't stop the relationship, but the relationship becomes so much more wholesome, fulfilling, because Radha and Krishna are in the center. I really like what Prabhupada said in the Nectar of Instruction. He said we are more into spiritual communism. You remember what he said about that? What is spiritual communism? He said Radha and Krishna, they are at the center. And we all revolve around the center. We're all connected to the center as individuals. And although we're all individuals, because we're connected to that center, we all have the same common interest, although we're individuals. And by connecting to that center, we all become individually satisfied through that same common interest, because Radha and Krishna are the center of everything. This is so much important. They're the center of everything. So that's why we have to live our life in the sensitivity of their presence in everything. And in that, we will be able to remember them. We will be able to feel their presence, and we will be able to stay connected with them.
You're doing everything in sensitivity of life?
In the sensitivity. To be sensitive, will become sensitive to their presence. Sensible? How do you?
No, sensitive is the right word, but
Yes.
I don't understand. Is it interesting you're saying sensitive?
So sensitive means like we, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said in the Arinam Chintamani that the heart is indifferent to Krishna. Yeah. Yes. So we become sensitive to his presence. And through that sensitivity, then we become aware of Krishna's presence, and we become conscious of how much he is present in everything, and then we want to do things for him, in connection with him, with feelings connected to him. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Sensitive. It's the opposite of indifferent, basically. So I just wanted to, I felt, from last time, I didn't put that in as a conclusion, but yes, Krishna, okay, we have to do something in that relationship. We have to become exclusive with Krishna, but by being exclusive with him, then we'll be able to connect Krishna to everybody else. And then everybody will be satisfied because Radha and Krishna are the center of everything. So it is not being neglectful to make our heart exclusive to Radha and Krishna. It's not being indifferent to others. It is the supreme sensitivity to others, the supreme service we can do. Yes, the absolute connection we can make with others, and the greatest gift we can ever share with them. So this is a very important point. Yeah, and we should deeply meditate on that. And it starts with our own heart. We have to do something there. We cannot keep staying indifferent to this, to actually what is the source of everything, you know. They are just like Bhaktivinoda. Why does Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he sings about Srimati Radharani, you're my mother, you're my father, you are my best friend, you're my house, you're my life air, you're my everything. Why does he speak like that? Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Because he's exclusive.
Because it's exclusive, yes. And then what does he say? Please, and I give you. What does he say after? I give you. I give you my wife. I give you this. I give you my children. I give you my house. I give you this. Why does he say that?
Everything is there.
It's time to get rid of everything.
Sorry?
It's time to give everything to Krishna. And then
Yes.
in return, we want Krishna.
Yes. Because anyway, everyone belongs to Krishna. You know, nobody is a property in this world. We're all the property of Krishna. And when we accept that to be the property of Krishna, then what happens after? Krishna becomes our property. That's how it works. Krishna becomes our property. So it's good to be controlled, but in this world, we don't want to be controlled by Krishna. We don't want to be controlled by love. This is what's happening. We don't like control. We want to control, sorry, but we don't like to be controlled. If you see what happens in Vrindavan, everyone is controlled by love so much because that love is so deep, so beautiful, and so powerful that even Krishna himself is ready to be controlled by love. So it shows you how powerful it is that Krishna himself is ready to be controlled. So beautiful. So why don't we want to accept to be controlled by this love? So that's why that exclusivity allows us to be controlled by this love. And to show to others how good it is to be controlled by love. What Prabhupada said when he was in the Jaladuta, when he arrived in Boston?
I am a doll in your hand.
I'm a puppet.
Yeah.
And make me dance, make me dance, make me dance. Because Prabhupada was completely controlled by the love of Radha and Krishna. Okay, so is that clear? That I just wanted to make a conclusion because it was there in my heart and I didn't feel satisfied. So let us work towards that exclusivity, and that means giving our heart fully to Radha and Krishna because our heart belongs to them, and that's when we give our heart fully to Radha and Krishna, this is when we will receive them fully in our heart also. If we really want to experience Radha and Krishna in our life, then there's no other way. There's no other way but to give our heart fully to Radha and Krishna. Okay. So, like I said, it will be different parts, but I wanted to start this morning. I added something I thought, because we will be speaking about the glories of Srimati Radharani. I wanted to start with something very beautiful from Srila Prabhupada. And this is from a class he gave on Radhastami in London in September 5, 1973. It's very beautiful. Let us see what Prabhupada says about Srimati Radharani. So he says, the real purpose of life is to please Lord Vishnu. And Krishna is the origin of Vishnu Tattva. And he is pleased by Radharani. Therefore, we do not keep Krishna alone. No, Radha Krishna. First, Radharani. So that day is today. You must first worship Radharani. If you go through Radharani, so in Vrindavan you will see all the devotees. They will address each other.
Radhe, Radhe.
Radhe.
Radhe, Radhe. Always. Because they know that if Radharani is pleased,
Krishna will be pleased.
if I can please Radharani, Radharani is the original pleasure potency, always absorbed in the thought of Krishna. Yes, Krishna will be pleased. So whoever comes before Radharani to serve Krishna, oh, she becomes so pleased. Oh, here's a devotee of Krishna. She immediately recommends Krishna. Oh, here's a devotee. He is better than me. This is humility. I remember when I became brahmachari at the beginning in Montreal, there's one disciple of Radhanath Maharaj, Rohini Nandan Prabhu Brahmachari. He was giving a class, and I will never forget what he said. He said, Krishna has two main qualities in Vrindavan. And what are these two qualities? Simplicity and humility. So beautiful. So Radharani also, she has that simplicity and humility. We first, when we think about Srimati Radharani, we think it is something so far away. Why? Because we don't realize how much simple and humble is Srimati Radharani. That is why. And that's why, in that complication of ours, we cannot approach her with heartful, loving feelings and, dedication of the heart. That is why we are just so complicated, and we cannot accept the simplicity of Vrindavan. Because Radha and Krishna, they are children. And we forget that. We forget that we are children true for eternity. And we want to be adults, big responsibility, wearing so many hats. We become so complicated, and we forget what it is to be a true child. So, Krishna, oh, here's a devotee is better than me. That is Radharani. I may not be a devotee. I may be the most fallen. But if I try to reach Krishna through Radharani, then I will be victorious. Why? Why will I be victorious?
She controls Krishna.
Yes, she controls Krishna. Krishna is justice. It's not easy to attain Krishna. Krishna is justice, but Radharani is mercy, compassion. Yes. So that's why Krishna, he had to come in the mood of Srimati Radharani, because he is justice. Just like Guru Govinda Maharaj explained, it's very beautiful. He said Krishna he has his Isha Shakti, which is his will, power, potency. Through that potency, when Krishna desires something, it happens. Mahavishnu, what happens? He dreams or he exhales, and then all the universes, they come out, just like that. Through his Isha Shakti, his willpower potency, his desire potency. And then Radharani is Karuna Shakti, and which is compassion personified. So Krishna, when he is covered by the mood of Srimati Radharani, is Isha Shakti. That's what Guru Govinda Maharaj explains. I really always appreciated that one. His desire potency, to his justice, with his will, he's thinking about now, he's discriminating. This disappears because he becomes completely overcome, dominated by the Isha, by the Karuna Shakti, by the compassion potency of Srimati Radharani. And that's why he forgets about this discrimination. And he gives his mercy to everybody. So this is Srimati Radharani. We become victorious because Radharani, she's compassionate. She is compassion personified. And she wants every living entity to come to Krishna. That is her desire. So if we are sensitive to her desire, and if we want to reciprocate with her desire, then we will take shelter at her lotus feet. So I may be the most fun, but if I try to reach Krishna through Radharani, then I will be victorious. Therefore, we should first worship Radharani. That is our duty. Instead of offering a flower directly to Krishna, you simply place it in Radharani's hands. This is very beautiful. Prabhupada is speaking with his heart there. Because that's what he will do. My mother Radharani Jagannatha, if you will take this flower and offer it to Krishna. Oh, says Radharani, oh, you have brought a flower? But don't try to offer directly to Krishna. Simply offer to Radharani. It will be very much appreciated by Radharani. Such a beautiful, revelation Prabhupada is giving here. I love that quote from Prabhupada. So this is our philosophy, to please Krishna through Radharani. And today is the auspicious day for Radharani's appearance. So we should offer Pushpanjali and pray to Radharani. That Radharani, be merciful and tell your Krishna about me. So that's what he was saying. She controls Krishna. It's so beautiful, that point. Krishna is Madan Mohan. He attracts all living entities. So the one, because he's all attractive with all his qualities, the one that attracts all living entities is completely enamored with Madan Mohan Mohini, with the one that attracts Madan Mohan. So that's why it's so important to take shelter of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. because she's Prema personified. And in the Madhurya Kanambini, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that actually it's Radharani who will infuse loving feelings for Krishna in our heart. And then at that time, Krishna, like the bee Madhusudan, will be attracted to our feelings by the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So, yes. Radharani, be merciful to your and tell your Krishna about me. Krishna is yours. Krishna, Radha Krishna. Krishna is not independent. Krishna is not independent. He is controlled by the love of Srimati Radharani. Krishna is the property of Radharani. So you have to approach Krishna through Radharani. That is, today, this is the auspicious day. Worship Radharani very well and be happy. Beautiful. And in Montreal in 1968, in a Radhastami lecture, in August 30, Prabhupada said, Krishna, everyone is trying to love Krishna, but Krishna is trying to love somebody. Beautiful. Now, how great she is. Just try to understand. Everyone, the whole world, the whole universe, all living entities, they are trying to love Krishna. Krishna Prema. Lord Chaitanya describes Prema Pumarto Mahan. And Rupa Goswami described that you are distributing Krishna Prema. So Krishna Prema is so valuable, but Krishna is after Radharani. Just see how Radharani is great. Just try to understand the greatness of Radharani. Therefore, she is so great, and we have to offer her respect. Beautiful. And in the elevation to Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada, he reveals to us a secret, that we are all servants of Srimati Radharani. It's very beautiful. Okay, so today I told you that I will share a few things on the glories of Srimati Radharani's feet. And you have seen I have given you on WhatsApp a picture with her symbols on her feet, because I will speak about that. We won't be able to do everything because there are many things I would like to share with you, but let's start today. So there are so many beautiful verses about the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, but we cannot glorify our lotus feet without quoting some verses from the Radha Rasa Sunadidhi from Prabodhananda Saraswati, because he has a very beautiful glorification of the lotus feet there, or just actually of her beautiful qualities. So it's verse 26 and 68, and you see this is so beautiful. So it says, my thoughts rest in something that bears the name Radha, something that is the essence of beauty, the essence of nectar, the essence of happiness, the essence of mercy, the essence of charming and splendid forms, the essence of expert intelligence, the essence of playful, amorous pastimes, and the essence of the best of everything. A spiritual splendor that bears the name Radha, that is the most sweet, that showers a monsoon of glorious nectar, shines in the heart of a very fortunate person, a heart where Shri Krishna stays. So beautiful. So, actually, if we look into the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Shukadev Goswami, he shows how much important it is to meditate on the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. And this is in Canto 2, Chapter 2, verse 13. It says, well, Shukadev Goswami writes, the process of meditation should begin from the lotus feet of the Lord and progress up to his smiling face. This meditation should be concentrated upon the lotus feet, then the calves, then the thighs, and in this way higher and higher. The more the mind becomes fixed upon the different limbs of the Lord, one after another, the more the intelligence becomes purified. Okay, let me ask you a question. Why are the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani so important? Why are they so precious to Krishna? We could think the same about Krishna's lotus feet. So there's something special about this. I've meditated for a long time about this. Why is it that we speak always about the lotus feet? Why do we start at the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna? When we look, just like Shukadev Goswami was saying, we start at the lotus feet. Why? Why it's so important to take shelter of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, of Krishna, of Srila Prabhupada, of our spiritual master? What is there in the lotus feet that is so special? Any idea? I can see you have something in mind.
The feet have a special type of
dust.
Ah.
That is hard to find in all the other places.
And why is that dust so special?
It's extremely merciful.
It's extremely merciful, exactly. So why? Ayin andat anuja kinkaram. I just want to be a speck of dust at your feet. Why?
It is more reachable.
More reachable? Yes. Anything else? Think of-
They're the lowest part of one's body.
Okay.
So by approaching the lotus feet, we're saying that we are showing a humble position. That
Okay,
we are
yes.
servants.
Definitely. So by touching the feet, it's like we're showing our submission to Radharani, to the spiritual master. You know, we're taking a humble position, and in that humility, we can take shelter. Definitely, that's a very good point. But there's something else also. It's so beautiful. Actually, and we see, as we will describe if we have the time today, like just like Krishna, Srimati Radharani, she has 19 symbols under her feet. No? And each symbol represents a particular quality of Srimati Radharani. Or sometimes it is described by Acharya as also different aspects of her form, different qualities, different feelings of Srimati Radharani, different parts of her form. And in that, all actually, why the lotus feet are so special is that there's a special wealth that is there. Because all the qualities of Srimati Radharani, all of her loving feelings toward Krishna, all of her compassion, her mercy are present in her lotus feet. All of her beauty, everything is there. So that's why when we connect to the lotus feet, we connect with the source, with the fountain of all of Srimati Radharani's qualities, her beauty, her feelings, and her compassion. So that's why there's a special nectar that is there. It is like the concentrated aspect of all of her qualities and of her love for Krishna. So that's why the devotees, they find the dust of her feet to be particularly sweet because they contain a very special nectar, which is the concentrated essence of her love and qualities. So that's why, and we can think of the same for Krishna. It is the same principle, and it's the same also for the spiritual master. Because in Vrindavan, not only Radha and Krishna have symbols on their feet, but all other associates also, they have symbols. Actually, even for eternity, we're meant to have symbols on their feet also, because the symbols on the feet, they represent also our connection, a kind of specific connection to Radha and Krishna, or rasa. These things are present in the symbols. So it's something that is very important. And that's why we should meditate. You will see how merciful she is through the symbols that we can meditate on her lotus feet. Is that good for now? Any questions? That's good. Okay, so what are the benefits of such a meditation on the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, or any of the expansions? It's described in the Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 6th chapter. There, Narada Muni explains how he attained his transcendental body. Would you like to listen to it?
Yes.
After that, under the shadow, so he speaks, under the shadow of a banyan tree, in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the super soul situated within, using my intelligence as I had learned from liberated souls. As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart. Oh, at that time, being exceedingly overpowered by feelings of happiness, every part of my body became separately enlivened. Being absorbed in an ocean of ecstasy, I could not see both myself and the Lord. So, okay, listen to this. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his Rupa Chintamani, he lists the results and benefits of meditating on the lotus feet of Sri Radha. This is very beautiful, and that's why I gave you on the WhatsApp that image with all of her symbols. So on the left foot, as you have seen on the image, she has an umbrella, a chakra, a flag, a creeper, a flower, a bengal. And listen carefully, because you see, for each, if we can meditate on each symbol, then we receive a special benefit or blessing from Srimati Radharani. So a Bengal, a lotus, an upward rising line, an elephant goad, a half moon, and a barley corn. And on her right foot, she has a Shakti weapon, a mace, a sign of a chariot, a yagya altar, an earring, a fish, a mountain, and a conch. And here is the interesting part. He then gives the benefits of meditating on each and every one of these symbols. So for example, meditating on the umbrella acts as a protection from the heat of the threefold miseries of this world. Meditating on the chakra destroys the enemies of the heart, such as lust, anger, greed, and all the others. Meditating on the flag grants victory in all aspects of spiritual life. Meditating on the creeper gives support in one's spiritual life. How merciful she is. You understand how important it is now to meditate on our lotus feet? Meditating on the flower and lotus bestows auspiciousness. Meditating on the Bengal bestows good fortune. Meditating on the upward rising line grants spiritual progress. Meditating on the elephant goat controls the mad elephant of the mind. Meditating on the half moon bestows all joy. Meditating on the barley corn grants prosperity. Meditating on the Shakti weapon protects against calamities in spiritual life. Meditating on the mace destroys all obstacles. Meditating on the chariot gives unimpeded victory in all directions. Meditating on the yagya altar ensures the completion of all Vedic duties. Meditating on the earring makes one a devotee of the highest caliber. Meditating on the fish gives the ability to swim freely in the ocean of bhakti rasa. Meditating on the mountain gives stability and firmness in life. Meditating on the conch grants victory. So beautiful. I see how important it is to meditate on the lotus feet. All our mercies there, all of our compassion. You know what Prabhupada says? What is the meaning of the Maha Mantra? Oh, Srimati Radharani. Oh, energy of the Lord, but it's Srimati Radharani. Please accept me in the service. Please accept me in the service of the Lord. Please grant me service to Krishna. So, actually, we have to understand one thing. Like Prabhupada, it's very significant. Why did he speak like that about Srimati Radharani? Because he himself is under the shelter of Srimati Radharani. Under that shelter, he received the mercy by which he could, liberate so many living entities in this world. So Prabhupada is not independent of the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So that's why he spoke like that. And as we meditate on Prabhupada's mercy, we have to meditate on how also that mercy ultimately is coming from Srimati Radharani. It's something that is very important. If you see the Guru Parampara, who are they? Even Gopakumar himself. Gopakumar is a Saka, and Srimati Radharani, she brought him into her kunj as she was there, and she gave him the instruction to come down to the material world to become the Guru of Jaya Dharma, which was a Brahmana who was a devotee of Srimati Radharani. She sent him. And if we look at our Guru Parampara, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is who? Kamala Manjari. Rupa Goswami is who? Rupa Manjari. So all these are maidservants, intimate servants of Srimati Radharani. So we can see by that the mercy is coming down. When you look at the Guru Parampara, you can see that is Radha Kripa. That is the mercy of Srimati Radharani. By her mercy, she has allowed, or she has given instructions for different intimate maidservants to come down in this material world to liberate the living entities. So ultimately, we can see how the Guru Parampara is coming from the shelter of Srimati Radharani. So just like I was saying, there are symbols. I mean, we won't speak about Krishna's lotus feet. We could at another time. But just like Srimati Radharani, she has these different symbols. Krishna also, yes. But they have on their hands also as well. So for example, it is described the color of Krishna's feet are like reddish, pinkish. But the symbols are always more prominent in color. That's why how we can see them. And even when, for example, when Radha and Krishna, when they walk, we spoke about that a little bit. When they walk in the forest of Vrindavan, then the because their lotus feet is so precious, like you were saying, Acharya, so the dust of their lotus feet contains all the nectar of their essence. Then the soil of Vrindavan, the Chintamani soil, it wants to protect these footprints, and then it keeps also the symbols. And that's how, for example, remember, like the gopis, Prabhupada says that in Krishna book, chapter 36, how the gopis, they search for Krishna. Actually, that's how their associates, they can recognize where is Srimati Radharani, where is Krishna. You know how the gopis, they search for Krishna in the Vrindavan forest after he have left the Rasa dance. Prabhupada, he says, they inquired about him from the trees and plants, and in some places they found the imprints of the marks on the soles of his feet, namely the flag, the lotus flower, the trident, the thunderbolt, etc. After seeing these footprints, they exclaimed, "Oh, here is the impression of the marks on the soles of Krishna. All the marks, such as the flag, the lotus flower, the trident, and the thunderbolt, are distinctively visible here." Thus, they found Krishna. That's how they found Krishna. With the symbols of his feet and the imprints on the soil of the forest of Vrindavan. And they could see also that besides his footprints were another set of footprints. And depending on the relationship that the gopis, they had with Srimati Radharani, Vishwanath Chakravarti explains this. Then their appreciation or not of the footprints were there. For example, there's the neutral, the Tatastha Sakis, the gopis, they're neutral to Radha and Krishna in between. So because they're neutral, they were, kind of indifferent. They knew it was Srimati Radharani's footprints, but didn't have any specific feeling. But the right wing gopis, like Chandravali, which are direct competitor to Srimati Radharani, when they saw these footprints, then they are having jealousy in their heart. And then the Sakis, the left wing Sakis on the side of Srimati Radharani, they were rejoicing because they know that Srimati Radharani, she was with Krishna at that time. So,
9 o'clock, we should stop
okay.
and continue.
Yes. Okay, so we should stop here, I guess. Yes. Are there any questions or comments before we stop? Yeah.
Maharaj, one thing I was wondering was that because of chanting for some time, at least in this lifetime, I feel like I made a lot of offenses. So when I chant, I don't feel so much love for Krishna and Radha. I feel like there's a lot of layers and layers of obstruction. So how can one chant simply that one is able to feel the presence of their love for us?
First, we have to chant with the feeling of regret. That's the first spiritual feeling that comes in the heart. The regret that we have been indifferent to Radha and Krishna, and we have been forgetful of them for so many lifetimes. The regret, first feeling. So we have to chant with that regret, because that regret brings humility. So that's the first thing. And then we have to turn in our heart, turns towards Radha and Krishna, in a feeling to have a relationship with them. That's very important. We have to be conscious that we're meant to have a relationship with them under the shelter of our spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada. It's never disconnected, but we're meant to have a relationship. So we have to turn ourselves to Radha and Krishna. And then third, we have to chant as a service also. Just like Prabhupada said, we chant begging for service. So, but it's a service in itself, Oh, please, Radharani, please bring me into the service of Krishna, please. When we chant, we have to know the meaning of the Mahamantra. We have to chant with a purpose, with a goal, with a feeling, with an intention. If you don't have that, then it's just mechanical. That's why the prayojana, the goal, is very important. Why do you chant? What is the goal of your chanting?
To chant more nicely.
To chant more nicely, but ultimately, what is the goal of chanting?
To chant for them in the spiritual world.
Yes, I mean, it's to love Radha and Krishna, because the chanting is meant to give love.
Yeah.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself says that.
Yeah.
So we have to chant with that goal in mind. So the goal is to develop love for Radha and Krishna. But how can we develop that love? First, feeling of regret. Turn in your heart. Service. You chant as a service. Begging for service. And then, what is the other?
Think about the goal.
Think about the goal. And then? Very important. Seva bhav. What is seva bhav?
Begging for service?
No. Seva bhav means we have to chant in the mood in the service attitude of a certain Vaishnava. It's really important. We should never chant just on our own feeling, on our own volition and accord. Why?
Because you're not there.
Sorry?
We are not there. So
Because we're not there, because we're nothing, because we're so insignificant. But if we chant under the shelter, so that's, I guess that will be another thing also very important. If we chant under the lotus feet of our spiritual master, under the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, then we chant under their strength. You understand? We chant under their shelter and mercy. That's so much important. Then the chanting becomes enlivened by their shelter and mercy. So we always have to dispose ourselves in that mindset. I chant, oh, please, Srila Prabhupada, please allow me to chant under your shelter and mercy. Because actually, the chanting, for example, what is pure chanting? Pure chanting is that the holy name is just chanting on its own, That is pure chanting. Because the holy name is Krishna. And the devotee, he becomes controlled by that chanting. He becomes carried away by that chanting because that chanting, that vibration brings him at the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. So actually we have to let the mantra chant us. And for that we have to take deep shelter of Srila Prabhupada, of our spiritual master. Because if we don't do that, because actually Radha and Krishna, they're really pleased. The holy name is really pleased when we chant under the shelter of pure Vaishnavas. And if they are pleased, then we will have taste in the chanting. We'll have focus, we'll have a meditation, we'll have a feeling. But if we chant on our own, just, okay, I have to chant. So now it's like, okay, it's 5 o'clock or it's 4 o'clock, I have to start chanting. But, okay, no. It's just, no, it's not just that I have to chant. I have to serve, I have to love, I have to put my heart, I have to put an intention, I have to chant under the shelter and mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Understand? I have to meditate on the service attitude of a certain Vaishnava that really inspires me. And in that, then we receive the strength. By their mercy, we receive a higher qualification, a feeling, an intention, and a mood by which we can chant with the proper feeling. Otherwise, it becomes mechanical because in this world, the conditioned soul is used to do things externally. It's from the outside into the inside. But if you want to chant with feeling, with depth, profound, then you have to go inside. And go inside means to go inside the heart of the pure Vaishnavas, under their shelter. Then that treasure that is there, that connection will allow you to receive something much more substantial for you to chant. Because you won't be chanting on your own strength anymore. You understand? You won't be chanting on your own volition, like desire. It will be under the shelter and mercy of the pure Vaishnavas. And by doing that, then our chanting becomes substantial, becomes awesome. It's really important. But I would say that from all of this, the most important is to chant under the shelter and mercy of our spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada says, of all the instructions of the spiritual master, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the most important instruction. The essence of all philosophy is to chant the holy name.
Yes.
So as a service to the spiritual master also, but meditating on the seva bhav, on the mood of service, it's very important. Because then it doesn't depend on our own heart, what we are lacking, what we don't have, understand? What we're missing. Then we're adding, that connection is bringing these things in our heart. And then we chant with some real substance in our japa. It's really important. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anything else?
Anybody online?
Anybody online?
Lots of real online. Any questions online?
Okay, one second. There we go.
Hari Bol.
Santushta Vajnath Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
And Tarakram also there.
Can you speak louder? I cannot hear so well.
One second. I'm marking. Okay.
Amazing class, Maharaj. Thank you so much for taking us to the meditation on the lotus feet of Radharani. You mentioned right now, Sri Prabhu was asking a question. You mentioned you have to chant under the shelter of a pure Vaishnava, chant under the shelter of a spiritual master. Can you please elaborate on that, Maharaj? That would be very helpful.
Okay. You would like me to elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you're ready. It's very beautiful. Are you ready?
He also wants to hear. Tarakram wants to
Okay.
hear. Okay.
Yes. So, to meditate under the shelter and mercy is something very personal, very intimate. First, we should, just like Prabhupada said, we should put a throne in our heart and invite Radha and Krishna to sit on the throne of our heart. We should do that with the spiritual master. You should go in the garden of your heart. You pray. You prepare a very special kunj for Srila Prabhupada, for your spiritual master. Let's take the example now of Srila Prabhupada. So you put a beautiful Vyasasan. You can even color it. You put the flowers that you want, the color of cloth that you want for the tissue, for the Vyasasan. And then you sit there at the side of the Vyasasan and you beg, you cry to Srila Prabhupada to please come. Svagatam, Susvagatam, please come and sit on the throne of my heart. I need your presence. I need you. I need your shelter and mercy. So then we invite Srila Prabhupada. We invite him properly. We give him that beautiful seat. We make sure he's well seated, just like we do in puja. And then we put, because we want to take shelter of his feet, so we put a little how do you say, stool, no?
Yeah.
Cushion, where he can put his feet, just like he will do, for example, on his Vyasa puja. And then we fall down at his feet. We fall down at his feet. We offer our prostrated obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. We take his feet, we put the dust of his feet, just like Prahlad Maharaj said, we should bathe our whole body with the dust of the Vaishnav's feet, when he said that to Hiranyakashipu. So we take the dust of Srila Prabhupada's feet and we put it all over our body. And we can even meditate on Prabhupada's looking at us, smiling at us, being just like a loving father, a loving presence. And then we take his feet, we can put his feet on our head, on our heart. We can cry, we can for example, the best flower garland we can offer at the feet of Srila Prabhupada are tears, our own tears. So we can cry at his feet and holding his feet to our heart, crying and washing his feet with our tears. We beg Srila Prabhupada for his mercy, for his shelter. We beg him to be merciful, to allow us to connect to his chanting, to connect with his feelings, so that we can receive that mercy, so that we can receive that empowerment to chant purely. So we meditate with that intention, asking Prabhupada for his mercy so that we can chant at the level of the heart. And then we can also offer beautiful flower garlands. We can offer a garland of roses, of jasmine flowers at his feet. Remember some flowers that Prabhupada liked. For example, he liked the petunias, big white flowers. We can put like a white, beautiful flower garland of petunias around his neck, like that. And we can offer him arti. We should do that before we chant japa. Then we chant japa under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada. It's very, very, very important. Otherwise, what will be our connection? What will be our feeling? What will be our intention? What will be our meditation if we don't take shelter of Srila Prabhupada? He is that Brajbasi, that connection to Braj, to Radha and Krishna, and we really have to take sincere shelter at his feet. Is that all right? Yes, of course you can do. If there are any other personalities in the Guru Parampara also, at first it should always start with Guru and Srila Prabhupada. But if there are other personalities, you want to do that also. Some, like I was saying, in the Guru Parampara, there may be some special Vaishnavas that inspire us, that have a special mood of chanting, of service, of loving Radha and Krishna. And then we can take shelter of that also. But it should start with Guru and Srila Prabhupada. It's very important. From my own personal experience, our chanting becomes much deeper when we do this. Because then we chant under the special mercy, and it gives us the taste, it gives us the meditation, it gives us the connection and the feeling by which we can chant at a deeper level.
It was very powerful, Maharaj. Thank you so much for
Right.
just explaining. I was meditating on it, and then it just transported me. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Jai. Anything else?